Yo, 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 and hello. Welcome back to another episode of TA with MK. My name is MK, and that time has come. That dreaded time that we're going to cover how to do derivatives or futures trading on Kucoin. Now, full disclaimer, and I want to be very upfront that most of the people that get wrecked in crypto, most of the people that get into crypto get wrecked, right? Like, that's just a known fact that 90% of traders lose money. I would say probably 97% of people trying to trade crypto most definitely lose money. But of that amount of people losing money, there is a large amount of them that are getting wrecked or losing a giant chunks of money because they're irresponsibly leverage trading. You need to understand that leverage trading is high risk, high reward. But the reason they say high risk, high reward and not high reward, high risk is because they put the high risk first because that is the most important two words, right? It is very, very high risk. So you need to understand that I'm not going to dive into a lot of my strategies in this video as far as leverage trading. I will make some future videos about that. But just know that you have no business leverage trading if you're not already decently good at spot trading. If you can't take $100 and turn it into $200 by spot trading, you probably have no business leverage trading. That's just very important to me to get that out there. You need to understand that every trade involving this goes without saying for every trade, but especially with leverage trading, every trade you need to have a plan already together before you open the trade as far as exactly where you're going to enter, where you're going to take profits, and most importantly, where you're going to have your stop loss in place that will protect you from getting liquidated and losing all that precious money that you've worked so hard for. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and dive in and give you a little tutorial on how to do the derivatives trading on Kucoin. If you guys are liking the content, please remember to like and subscribe, and let's go. It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. All right, hopefully the disclaimer, speech at the beginning, hopefully weeded out anyone and everyone who shouldn't be watching beyond this point, that understands, everyone beyond this point should understand the risks, should be somewhat experienced in trading, or at least experienced in managing their risk, and so on and so forth. So at this point, you just want to be able to put money into your actual futures account. So just to the left of your initials with the circle around it, there's this little credit card looking thing. Go down to where it says futures account, and then you're going to go ahead and click where it says transfer. It's going to bring up this little menu here on the right that says transfer what. For me, it'd be USDT. Now down here, you can click where it says trading account. This is where you're picking where you're transferring it from. So let's just say all of your money right now is in your main account. Mine's all in my trading account. What's not already in my futures anyway. It says I have $3,071 available in my trading account on this Kucoin account. So I'm going to leave that clicked as the trading account, right? And then I want to transfer to my futures account. Again, if your money was in your main account, you'd click that, right? Which I don't have any available. Maybe that's where your money is. So we're going to go to trading account. For me, it says futures account. I can transfer up to $3,000. I'm just going to transfer $100 over there. I've already got money over there, by the way. So I'm just going to show you kind of how to do that though real quick. I'm going to hit confirm, and it's going to say in request, transfer in request submitted. Okay, so now at this point, what we want to do is we want to go back up here to the browser. And I want to go to Kucoin.com. Again, I just want to go back to the home page because this is just the easiest way for me to explain to you how to navigate over to the futures page. Now there's this tab that says derivatives, and you have the option of the futures classic or the futures light. In this video, I'm just going to teach you how to use the futures classic because it has more options, and it's just the better way to learn how to trade futures. So we're going to go ahead and click that, and it's going to take us over to the futures page. Now at this point, I'm going to move my ugly mug out of the way so that you can see everything on the screen as I explain it to you. So I will be back. All right, so the majority of the screen's taken up with this chart, obviously, that we as traders, if you have any level of experience, don't actually use. We have Tradingview or Coinigy, maybe a few others out there that people use to actually chart coins, much better than trying to use the charts on the exchanges. So you can basically ignore that, although you can look at it to just kind of see what the price is currently for the coin. In this case, Bitcoin, 21,001, 89. Now, up here on the top left where it says Bitcoin perpetual / USDT, if we click this area, this is where you can search for the coin that you want to long or short using leverage. So for today's example, we're going to use Solana. So SOL brings up SOL perpetual USDT, tells us the last price for it was this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and that'll change the chart, obviously, as well as what it says up here on the top left to Solana. Then we're going to go down here to the bottom to kind of explain what this tab is. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail on all of these, just the ones that are important. But down here, this will show any open positions you have, which right now it shows I am actually in a position of Bitcoin. It's a short position where my entry price was 21,189. The reason why it shows the value of the position is 834 is because what it is I'm using around 5x leverage, or in this case it says 5.48x leverage. Now that'll be the one part in this video I will not be able to explain, is why that leverage number changes depending on if you're in profits or in loss. It will change it. If you're in loss, it makes the leverage number go up, and if you're in profits, it makes it go down. However, I haven't noticed it to change your actual liquidation price, which is the price where you basically lose all of the money you were risking if you don't have a stop loss in place and it hits this price. And I'll go into more detail on that. But the point is that there'll be this one part hanging over our head throughout the video that I will not be able to explain, because as you're watching this, you can clearly see it's changing. 5.51 now. If this goes from 12.58 to less, now it's going to go 5.50. As I go into more profits, you'll see that leverage come down, and as it goes into more of a loss or less profits, you'll see that go up. Very strange, but at any rate, we'll move on for that. So this is my current open position, and when I open up a new position on Solana at towards the end of this video, then I'll explain in detail exactly everything about that position. Here it just shows closed P&L. That's obviously your profits and loss history, so you can see clearly I don't win all the time. In fact, plenty of losses in here, and I don't trade up very big on Kucoin. I really don't on leverage anyway. I do most of my trading on spot as far as my larger positions, and I'm really a huge fan now of those 3L and 3S tokens, which I'll put a video out in the future as well for that. They're just 3x leverage tokens that you can trade in the spot area instead of using this actual leverage section. But anyway, like I said, $300 here. Most recently, I lost $100. So, I'm in profit overall for the past several days, but, clearly there is risk involved. And, even myself, $100 lost right there, which I have no problem showing you, because otherwise, why would you watch a video from a trader who didn't show you that, hey, things don't always go well when you're leverage trading? Hence why the big old intro. Open orders, this would be anything that you've placed, an order that you've placed that just hasn't been filled yet. Once it's filled, it puts it over here in the fill section. And then we'll explain like the take profit and stop loss stuff more once we open up the Solana position. Next up over here on the right, not the far right, but the mid right we'll call it, you've got the order book. Just like on the regular spot exchange, if you've used that, this is showing all of the sell orders or some recent sell orders and buy orders that are currently active, right, that haven't been filled yet. So you've got a sell order of 36 whatever down here and a buy order of 36 whatever. Now this is what you're also going to use in many cases to place your order as far as longing or shorting a coin. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Now over here on the right where it says place order, there's a few key things here you need to realize. Now obviously if this lightning bolt's clicked, this is market. Now, I've talked often on my channel how you never want to market buy. Market buy basically means you want to buy right that second regardless of the price. Now, if there's a lot of market volatility and the price is swinging up and down like crazy, which is often sometimes the time when you're trying to long or short a coin, right? That could give you a price you're not expecting. Say for example, Bitcoin was in the midst of a dump and you were trying to catch the bottom or get a good price that you wanted at the bottom, but you just hit market buy. And Solana was swinging between $32 and $38, over the pretty quickly. You might thought you were buying at 32 and you buy at 35. So you're already in a loss essentially from where you meant to enter, and just put you in a bad spot. So you want to make sure that lightning bolt is not clicked and that it just says limit up here. You have stop as well, but we want to be clicked on limit when we're opening up a position. And then the key right here is where it says leverage. Now, leverage, I'm going to take a brief minute and switch back over to my face to just kind of explain this the best I can. Now, I guess you didn't really need my face, but I just kind of felt like it would help to see me as I explain this. So basically, leverage is a percent, more or less. So if you're using 1x leverage, that would be 1%, which is just a 1-for-1 move. So 1x leverage is basically the same as just buying the coin, right? Meaning that if you might as well just use spot trading. But more or less, if you buy Bitcoin at $20,000 and it goes up 1% and you bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, that 1% move equates to 1% of your original investment, which was $1,000, which would be $10, right, or whatever. And that's basically in a nutshell what leverage is. So if you go up to 5x, it means that for every 1% move out of the coin up or down, you're going to make or lose 5%. 10x would be 10%. So the even numbers are obviously the easiest ones for that math to make sense, but hopefully that does. Something like 3x is, 3%. So if the coin goes up, 10%, you opened up a long position and you put in, $1,000, and the coin goes up 10%, but you were using 3x leverage, that would actually be 30% gains for you on your 1,000 instead of just 10%. So instead of making $100, you would make $300, if that makes sense. Flip side of that, once again, the risk side of that would be that if it goes down that amount, you lose that amount. Now, the other reason why I wanted to show my face was just to also explain this, because this is the important part. The liquidation price that it comes up with is going to be roughly around 97% if it goes the wrong direction on you. And 97% is based on the leverage you're using. So if you're using, just 1x, well, then the coin would have to drop 97% for you to lose all the money you invested in that leverage position, right? Which isn't, obviously most likely to happen. But as you start using things like 5x, now I told you for every 1% move on 5x, that's 5%. So a 20% move out of the coin would be 100%. So you got to imagine that about 19%-ish move out of that coin the wrong direction for you. So if you opened up a long position on a coin at this price, expecting it to go this way, but it goes down this way about 19%, that is going to liquidate you and you're going to lose all of that money. Unless, of course, you had a stop loss in place, which is something else we'll explain in this video. So hopefully that all makes sense. If you needed any further explanation on the exact number of leverage and what it means, leave me a comment in the comment section. All right, now moving on, we're going to go up here. Now, I don't recommend, especially if you're new, ever using more than maybe 2 or 3x leverage, and especially no more than 5. So for the sake of this video, we will go ahead and just use 5. 5 is actually what I use for the majority of my trades on altcoins. I do use 10x or, 7x, 8x, 10x sometimes for Bitcoin, just because Bitcoin obviously moves slower. And so to maximize, potential gains on that, 10x is, not 10x to me on Bitcoin is the equivalent of using like 5x on altcoins, if that makes sense, because altcoins move a lot faster, whichever direction they're going with Bitcoin. So if you're using 10x on an altcoin, it's just hard to control your risk there because altcoins drop 10% or go up 10% all the time, right? Very, very fast. And if it's going the opposite direction that you were expecting, a little bit harder to manage that risk. But at any rate, so now I'm going to hop over here to my Solana chart. We're looking at this and going, okay, we've had this long downtrend. It broke out of it. Looks like it retested it back down here, right? Broke out, retest. Now you have this area that was previously support, then it was resistance. It's trying to bounce off of it. So for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and open up a long position, which is actually contradictory to my current short position for Bitcoin, obviously, right? But we're going to go ahead and open up a long position with 5x. So I'm going to go ahead, when you're doing long, you want to use the sell order book to get the last price. If you're doing a short, you want to click the top one over here, right? So I'm just going to click like this right here real fast on the top. I'm going to pick that I want to do, say, 2 Solana. It's telling me that it'll only be $14. Now, before we submit this, let me also explain that really quick. The important thing as I explain this is just this cost down here. This cost down here is the amount that you're risking on the trade. So keep in mind that that's what matters above all, right? But let me just quickly explain. So 2 Solana right now, if the price of Solana is around $36, 2 Solanas would be 36 times 2, which is $72. I'm using 5x leverage. So if you took $72 and divided it by 5, let's go ahead and pull up a calculator real quick, just to kind of show you, obviously what this means. $72 divided by 5 equals around the $14. That'd be $14.40. Obviously, the reason it's $14.64 is it was 36 and some change, right? But that's how you come up with that. And so, it's not really that important to know that. But if you're really confused as to why, I picked 2 Solana and that's not coming up to $72, it depends on what leverage you used. If you're using 1x, then it would come up to $72. See that down there, how it changed to $72? If I'm using 3x, it's going to be the same concept of taking taking 2 Solana, which is $72, dividing by 3, which comes up to 24, and so on and so forth. So the key number is this one that says cost right here that my mouse is next to. That's the amount that you are risking. So we're going to put that back to 5x. We're going to go ahead and click the lace price right here on the top, and then I'm going to go, actually, yeah, that's what I want. And I'm going to hit long. We're going to go ahead and hit buy. Now, if the position fills right away, which it did, it's going to show up under here over position, or show up under positions. Obviously, if it was still waiting to fill, you would be under open orders and you would see that sitting there. You could always cancel that. There's an option once that's there to cancel if you want to change, you changed your mind, or you want to change the price, or so on and so forth. Specifically, if you wanted to set an exact price, maybe you didn't want to enter right now like I did. Maybe it was, maybe if we come back to our chart, maybe the price was up here already, but you wanted to get back here on the retest at, say, 35, 35.88, for example. I could come over here and I could go put that price in specifically, 35.88. Don't ask me why that did that. 35.88, whatever amount you want, whatever leverage you want, and buy. And then that would obviously show up under open orders until it was filled, or if and when it was filled. Now, because I know you guys love my face so much, haha, I had to put my face back into the video to finish this out. I just put myself in this weird spot to where hopefully everything I show you, I'm not in the way. So now I wanted to quickly explain on this new Solana position just a couple of important things and how you can kind of manage this position. Now, the first thing you want to always do with every trade is have a stop loss. So let me show you really quickly how I would set a stop loss for this. Now, under the assumption that I'm hoping that this previous support, which was resistance back here 2 different times, would hold up as support this time on this bounce, I'm going to go a little bit below that. 35 is kind of an even number, so let's go just below that even. I'm going to do like 34.75. Let's just say I do 34.75 as my stop loss. The way I do that is the spot here that says take profit and stop loss. I can click this little icon here. And then up here where it says stop loss, I can go 34.75 and confirm it. It tells me before I confirm that if the price drops to that, this will be a market order will trigger, and I'm projected to lose around $3.21, right? Now, on the flip side of that also, if you wanted to have a take profit level as well, so say you're going to bed and you don't want to miss out on the fact that you really just wanted to ride this up to maybe a double top potential up here at, say, just under that at 36.48. I could go back here and also type in 36.48 there. Ignore all of this. I'll explain that in a different video, but it's just not important right now. And so don't mess with what it's already set at there. 36.48, it's showing me will, if the last price climbs to that, the take profit will, or the market order will trigger, and I would have a profit of a whole 25 cents. How amazing would that be, right? Woohoo! But I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm. Let me make sure I got that right, actually. Was that really what I was looking at that wrong, wasn't I? Oh, yeah. That's why that makes sense. That's the current price, was 36.48. So let's say I want to do like 38.29. That's kind of silly of me, but all right. So 38.29, sorry. That would be an estimated profit of 387. So I hit confirm, and now it's put both of those there. You can see that this one has a take profit on it, which is why it shows that green there. This is the stop loss there. This one up here, my Bitcoin, my original position, doesn't have a take profit because I haven't set one yet, right? So that's the difference between those two. All right, now full transparency, I don't know the exact fee that Kucoin charges, but I know the longer the position's open, obviously you're going to incur a fee. I've had this position open for a couple of hours that has $151 in the position, and I've incurred a loss, a realized loss so far of 8 cents. The one I just opened obviously started out and charged me 4 cents. So it is something that I will track, and in a future video I will explain in with more detail as I figure out exactly kind of what the fee is. But don't worry about that for today's video. Now, unrealized, this is obviously if you close the positions, and I want to go over that real quick. Now, you never want to use market for this either. Unless you just, I guess, are in a panic and are okay with just accepting whatever price it sells your, or closes your position at. But the way you would close this position would be, you could go to limit, for example, for this. I could put, I want to close 100% of the position, and just put in the the price it is right now or something, and then hopefully within a few seconds or a few minutes it will fill. Obviously, if the price changed from the time that you hit this and hit confirm, it may not fill it right that second, but it should fill it relatively quick. So that's the key, is when you close these positions, you still also want to use limit. I have been known to close my position sometimes with the market, especially if the market is not volatile, and I'm not that worried about a few cents here or there. And that matters more with the leverage you're using, right? If you're using super high leverage, well, every percent changes, fluctuates your profits by a lot, and that's when you'd want to really focus on limit. For me, I'm never using usually more than 5x leverage, and if I'm trading during a time like this where this coin's obviously just kind of dancing around the same prices, very, very little fluctuation, it's okay to use market in that case, but try to avoid it, for the most part. Last few tips to finish out this video, which I hope has been helpful, would just be realize you have to leave enough money in there to, of course, cover your positions. So, obviously, obviously, if you have only $100 to trade with, you're probably not going to want to ever use more than, say, $50 in a position, because you need to just leave extra money there to make sure you're always covering the fees and things as they incur. Another thing to always keep in mind is your liquidation price, which is going to be completely based on the amount of leverage you're using. In this case, I'm using 5x leverage, which I was telling you earlier in the video. That would mean about every 5% move, or 1% move is a 5% move, so 20% times 5, 20 times 5 is 100, right? So if the price goes around 20%, that would liquidate me, right? Now, I said it's actually around 97% the way they do it, so it'd be just under that. But so basically, if the price of Bitcoin, in this case, I was shorting it, if it goes up 20%, that's where they're coming up with this number of 24,614. But you just need to keep an eye on that and realize that if you don't have a stop loss in place, and the price in this case pumps up to 24,614, I'm going to lose this entire amount here that I've put into this position. On the flip side of that, with this one down here, if the price of Solana drops to $29.99, right, then I would actually lose this entire $15 or $14.50 I put in there. Now, granted, I have a stop loss in place on both of these, and if you ever just want to check what your stop loss is telling you you're going to currently lose, right now, if my Solana one hits my 34.75. I click that, I can see that I would lose $3.21. I can cancel that and update it at any time. Obviously, it's a good practice that once you're so far into profits, to go ahead and bump your stop loss up to break even. And then if you get so much more into profits, just keep moving your stop loss up as you go to make sure that no matter what, you're winning trade doesn't turn into a losing trade. All right, hopefully that was helpful in some way to some of you. If you guys have any other questions or something I didn't go over the video, please leave me a comment in the comment section. Just remember, the most important thing is to manage your risk, and if you're not sure how to do that, watch some more of my other trading videos, learn more how to trade first, get good at spot trading before you start throwing money at this market in an even more irresponsible way. But do know that there is lots of money that can be made doing leverage trading, but people that start out leverage trading, usually that's where their trading career comes briefly and quickly to an end. So just keep that in mind. Always try to be responsible out there, stay safe, and don't lose all that money you work so hard for. Now, as always, if you guys have been enjoying the content, please remember to like and subscribe. We'll catch you tomorrow. It's T-A